Hi, this is Amy K. Watson, and welcome to video number 3 in the Inspirational Leader Training Series. What we're going to be talking about today are the steps to getting your inspirational groove back. But before I get into that, let me just ask you, did you watch the first 2 videos? In the first video, we talked about professional relationship pitfalls. And this is important because if you get your inspirational leadership groove back, but you don't know how you lost it in the first place, then as soon as you start doing those same old things again, you're going to lose it again. And that's just discouraging, and I don't want you to have to go through that. And I'll just ask you, which of those professional relationship pitfalls did you relate to the most? Was it overfunctioning, people-pleasing, or defending yourself? Maybe it was a lack of accountability or lack of focus. Whatever it was, and please do watch that video if you haven't watched it yet, did you also do the Purpose Profiler? Did you find out what your God-given talents are, what your genius is setting you up to do? It's all about being grounded. All of this is about being grounded in your sense of purpose. In the second training, we learned how to handle the crazy makers. And you need to know how to manage their craziness. It's on you to manage them. It's not on them to change, as nice as it would be if they did change. Leadership can make you feel like you've got a target painted on your back. Even if it feels like you got stuck with this, you accepted it. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for accepting that role. Thank you for stepping into this, because we need you. We need purpose-driven leaders. And I know that it sucks sometimes. But one of the things that I'm going to ask you to recall is that when you stepped into that leadership role, did you notice that people started relating to you differently? Did you notice that maybe they started expecting things from you? Maybe they started bringing problems to you, maybe even problems that don't have anything to do with you. And did you notice yourself changing? Maybe you started stepping into your power. Maybe you noticed your mindset shifting and your behavior shifting as a result. When we step into leadership, we start to see things differently. And that's the first step in getting your inspirational leadership groove back. It's about shifting your lens or changing your lens. It's like getting a new pair of sunglasses that helps you to see different things. Sometimes, actually, it's even like getting progressive lenses for the first time. If you've got progressive lenses, you know that the first time you put them on, it took a couple of weeks, during which time everything felt weird, everything felt kind of wonky, it was hard to know how to move and what to do, and the things that you were seeing seemed very strange. The same thing happens when we start to change our lens and we stop paying so much attention to individuals and what's going on with those individuals, and instead start paying attention to relationships and what's happening in those relationships. It's the space between individuals. That space between is where the important stuff is really happening. It's kind of like a foreground-background shift. So that's our first step in getting your inspirational groove back, is paying attention to what really matters. The second piece is knowing your aim. This is why it's so important to know your sense of purpose, to know what's unique to you. Because when you know your aim, then what you do is like a fire that is stoked by your very being. Who you are, your essence, is driving what you do. And so you become aligned completely between who you are and what you do. You can see and articulate both. It then allows you, it makes it so much easier for you to live according to your highest values. And when you're not living according to your highest values, that takes you out of integrity, and that really zaps your energy. So if you've been feeling run down, that could be part of what's going on. The third step to getting your inspirational leadership groove back is to boost your immunity. And this is really about managing those crazy makers. When you boost your immunity, you become immune not to them as individuals, but to those relationship dynamics that can sometimes grow around them and create a lot of dysfunction. That dysfunction also comes from ourselves and our own reactivity. So when we boost our own immunity, what's happening is that whatever they might trigger, we are able to change our own behavior, our own contribution to that relationship, so that the dysfunction is not as much part of the picture. It may not be part of the picture at all, because you're not reacting to it anymore. Your reactivity can sometimes just drive the bus. When you're managing your own reactivity, then your reactivity stops driving the bus. Your management of people is aligned with who you are and what you do, so it's your actions and your being that are aligned. You don't get pulled off track by somebody else's freaked out agenda, and you're no longer controlled by needing to please people. You stop defending yourself, and you more easily hold yourself and others accountable. It's not necessarily easy, but it becomes more possible because you can see things for what they really are. You have clarity. So everything comes into alignment. These 3 steps, once you take them, they help you to get back to where you can navigate conflict. It doesn't make the conflict go away, but you're able to navigate it much more effectively. Another thing that you're able to do is you're able to comfort people who are truly in pain, and you're able to nudge people who are truly too comfortable. You're able to help them to move out of that comfort zone and into an area of growth. You're also able to direct people who are just lost in bewilderment. So those are the 3 steps. We start by changing our lens, seeing relationships more than just the individuals. Knowing your aim, knowing who you are and what you are all about, and then boosting your immunity to the crazy makers so that you can manage your own reactivity and navigate conflict. You don't have to do all 3 in order to start feeling that inspirational spark come back. Once you start doing any of these, then you're going to start to feel it, and that's what it's all about. So this is what it means to reignite that leadership spark. And I see this all of the time in my coaching practice. It's what happens when people really say, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take this seriously. I'm going to get grounded in my practice, in my purpose. I'm going to change my lens. I'm going to manage my own reactivity. And that's when everything around them starts to come into focus and align itself with that sense of purpose. All right, we have one more training left to go. I'll see you there.